What's up, Meta Nerds? This video is all about the Mountain Terrain Armored Transport, also known as the MTAT. It was manufactured by Karaida Engines, a company that was located on Karaida, a high-gravity planet that was covered in mountainous terrain, and located in the Colonies region of space. It cost the Empire 80,000 credits, which was equal to the cost of a TIE fighter plus a Vulture droid. With a length of 15.6 meters, or 51 feet, it was less than a third of the length of an ATM-6, and with a height of 12 meters, or 39 feet, it was 3 Jawas taller than an AT-ST, and at 12 meters wide, it was about 3 huts across. These spider-like legs allowed the MTAT to hit a top speed of 130 kilometers per hour, or 80 miles per hour, making it 1.5 times faster than an AT-ST, and more than twice the speed of an AT-TE. 2 laser cannons were attached to the main body, and then each of the 8 legs had twin blaster cannons mounted on top. And this terrifying mechanized monster was all operated by a single pilot and just 2 gunners. The central part of the MTAT was called the drive pod, which housed the 8 independent drive motors, and then there were additional servos which could lower this cargo pod to the ground to unload its contents, and then bring it back up when it was traveling. And there was also a mechanism to lower this main cockpit, allowing the crew to enter and exit the vehicle. Each of these feet has a claw that allows them to dig into even the most rocky terrain, and so because these legs were so long and could grab onto so many different surfaces, the MTAT was advertised to be able to cross over the most difficult terrain while still maintaining its relatively fast top speed. If that doesn't creep you out enough, the delivery method for these vehicles is also pretty disturbing, as they could be fired from some distant base through these self-contained hyperspace cocoon pods, basically a supersized version of what was done with the Imperial probe droid. And as you can see, the pod itself is quite large and had its own dedicated navigation and landing droid brain, which would make sure the MTAT was delivered to the best spot on the battlefield or near other Imperial forces without crashing into them. And then when it was about to land, these individual plates would break off and a gel was sprayed out before impact, which would absorb any kinetic energy that would have been transferred to this walker. If you thought this vehicle looked like something that was more in line with the CIS, then you have good vehicle design instincts, as this was built by Imperials who had been studying the use of the OG-9 homing spider droid, but more specifically, the separatist LM-432 Crab droid. When the Clone Wars ended, the Crab droid was one of the few CIS vehicles in which a large amount of them were captured and put to use training stormtroopers in the Imperial academies. Academy instructors realized how advantageous a design like this could be for a larger walker, and in a somewhat experimental fashion, allowed the company Karaida Engines to start working on a prototype. Sadly, they were nowhere near completion by the time of the Battle of Hoth, and with the Battle of Endor, the Imperial remnant was just trying to stay afloat, and so they never even saw combat against rebel forces until around the year 11 ABY, in which several MTATs were used to try and kidnap Anakin Solo, but in a bit of poetic justice, they were taken out by Admiral Akbar's droid army of Fido, the Foreign Intruder Defense Organism, which was a crab-like walker, just like the CIS droid that inspired the MTAT. But that's it for the Mountain Terrain Armored Transport, also known as the MTAT. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to check out our social media, or ways that you can help support this channel, be sure to check out the description down below. If you want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications. But more important than all that, remember, the Battle of Hoth could have been a whole lot scarier, and the Force will be with you, always.